What's up, people? Rasati out here in Singapore, and always thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast, you guys. I really appreciate your time, and your patience, and your energy. And as always, thank you so much for all of my loyal supporters who have been with me over the years. Can you imagine? I can actually say that, over the years. And to all of you newbies, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find a little bit of what you're looking for, maybe a new perspective, maybe a little bit more peace of mind, maybe a little more clarity. I don't know what you're looking for, but I'm hoping somewhere in this canon, I guess I can say that, canon of information that I've put out there, you find something that actually suits you. So stay tuned, because I have something I really want to discuss today. I've been recently having a lot of little disagreements, minor disagreements inside my household, right? And between my mother and my daughter, sometimes I just feel like Malcolm in the middle. What can I say? But the point being that whenever you have a situation where two people disagree on something, you at some point have to be able to tell the other person that something they did was disrespectful to you. But when you say that, how do they take it? Usually they take it very personally, and they think that you're attacking their character, right? So when you're telling somebody that something happened and you're not quite okay with what's going on, they're going to take it as you're condemning them. They're telling them that they're a bad person. Not that the action they did was not great or not a great choice, but they're going to take it attached to their character. Now, that's just one way of putting it. A lot of times when people say, oh my gosh, you need to draw a boundary. Oh my gosh, you need to ask for the respect you deserve. You need to let people know, that you need more, you want more, you're looking for something different. Let's say somebody gave you a gift and you weren't really thrilled or pleased with the gift. You have to venture up the courage to tell them, hey, you know what? Thank you for the thought. Yes, it is the thought that counts. But going forward, if you really want to get me something or really want to do something nice for me, this is what I want instead. Which at that point, when you ask for respect, you have to show them where they're being disrespectful. And when you tell someone they're being disrespectful, they attach it to their idea of what a disrespectful person is. It's almost like saying, hey, you know what, you did something that was wrong or bad, and they immediately associate, oh my gosh, I must be evil. I must be worthless. I must be less than a human being or whatever. So they attach their character to that quality that you're just trying to, adjust a little bit. And they suddenly take offense. Suddenly you have a fight about whether or not they're a good or bad person. That's not what the intention was. You're trying to tell them, hey, do this differently, and I would feel much better. It's almost like telling somebody, hey, don't call me that name. You may think it's a pet name. I take it as derogatory. Please change your verbiage. And they're thinking, oh, you think I'm trying to disrespect you? Oh, you think I'm putting you down? You think I'm like cynical or narcissistic or any slew of, labels they're going to throw out there. And suddenly they've missed the entire point. They could change the little minor detail that doesn't fit very well to make the relationship stronger, but they're taking offense to it. Another example is the fact that when you draw a boundary, people are thinking, oh, you're trying to keep people out. You're trying to push them away. You're trying to keep them at arm's length. This is what boundaries are for. When you think about property boundaries, yeah, of course, that is the end of my space and the beginning of your space. But that's not what an emotional boundary is. When we set up boundaries, we actually want you to be closer to us. We want you to have a stronger bond with us. If I tell you, right, that my trigger, a lot of times I get very sensitive when we're watching content about pregnancy and birth and how husbands and wives should act. I get a little, sensitive. And not to say that I will fight you if you say anything about that. That's not what I'm saying. But just be ready that if I suddenly get, sad or quiet, because I've been through some situations where this you're showing me is ideal, but I never got that, and now I feel like, wow, damn, I wish it had been different for me. So when I tell you that as a boundary, just, hey, watch out here in my life, it's kind of sensitive. I'm not saying you can't talk about that forever. When I tell you something is a trigger, I'm not telling you, hey, you can't talk about that forever, but just be ready if it comes up, because any topic can come up in conversation. When it comes up, I need you to be ready for me to be easily upset or easily affected. So don't take offense when that happens. Just know that, hey, okay, she's going through something. And then because I've told you the backstory, maybe you'll understand me a little bit better. People tend to attach any kind of feedback personally. Okay? I was told the other day that, maybe you should back off and let your daughter live a little bit because you're smothering her. Now, in their opinion, they're smothering me, but they don't know the whole of my relationship. What I did initially in my head, because I've learned to do that, like I've learned to poker face my life, and I go through the internal turmoil of listening to my inner critic and wondering if I'm a good or bad mother or whatever, right? When they told me that, I immediately thought, wait, hold on. You don't know what smothering is. I know what smothering is. My mother was smothering. I'm not like that at all. It didn't come out my mouth, thank God, because then that'd be another mess I'd have to clean up, to enforce or re-explain what it is that I'm actually trying to get at. But I had to check myself. I really did. I sat there in a corner for a little bit and I was like, holy crap, am I really, like, is this really smothering? I needed to ask my daughter, first of all, if something I was doing was really, like, bothering her, if I was helicoptering, if I was in her face too much, if I didn't let her have the freedom she needed to make the decisions she would need to kind of learn to grow up, right? And so, of course, it checked me for a minute. Now, the easy thing when you watch reality TV or watch your friends, family members, whatever, the easy thing is one person says one thing. They're trying to express themselves. Yes, it comes out badly, right? Wrong choice of word, wrong tonation, wrong way to look at you. I don't know. The wrong way to bring it up, the worst time to bring it up. It could be any one of a million things. But when they do bring it up, the first thing we do is, oh, hold up. Wait, what are you saying? That's not who I am. And immediately defend who our identity is, what we think we are, not what the world sees through our behavior. Of course, inside our heads, every decision we've made is for the best. It's for everyone concerned. We've tried to, take into account everybody who might be affected. But we got blind spots, y'all. We're not completely robotic yet, thank God. But the point is, if you are capable of making a mistake because you are human, right? That means you're capable of taking a little bit of criticism and adjust a little bit of the way that you're doing things. Another example is I talked to my daughter. And one day she was upset about something. And I told her, hey, what are you upset about? And now I had to dig it out of her. She doesn't really talk that much when she's upset. She kind of clams up. She kind of goes into her own space and she doesn't want to talk to nobody. But she, you're going to see it on her face. You're going to see it in her attitude. She's going to throw things around. She's going to stomp around. She's going to have a long face, whatever. So when I finally got her to calm down, I had to make her laugh a little bit, sit down and talk to me. Hey, tell me, what are you upset about? She finally told me, you make me feel stupid. And I was like, whoa, okay. Let me take this in for a second. I make you feel stupid. What do I do that makes you feel stupid? Okay? Because my intention is never to make you feel stupid. I try really hard not to use any of those words at all. But what do I do that makes you feel stupid? She says, you keep correcting me. Okay, I get it. Sometimes there's this quicksand moment where you have one mistake and then suddenly you're on pins and needles because you're trying not to make another mistake while you correct the first one, and then you get another correction. You're like, oh my God, now I'm a fuck up. Now I'm worthless. Now I can't get anything right because I keep making mistakes. But I had to remind her, where in what I'm telling you did I ever say you were stupid for making mistakes? That's something that most people add the connotation of, right? If you make mistakes, you must be stupid. You must be ridiculous. You must be not capable of, logical thought or whatever you may be justifying it with. The point being that she thought I was telling her she was stupid. I told her, look, back at what I said. I did not say anything about you being stupid. You added that word because that's how you felt. But you also are measuring yourself against me. How come my mom can get this stuff? It's so easy for her, but I'm over here struggling. It was math, y'all. What can I say? So I told her, look, I am 40 years old. You are 10. You are just now learning this for the very first time. You're trying to wrap your head around the logic. You're expected to make mistakes. But that's what they give you the concept for. They teach you a little bit, and then they give you like papers and papers to practice and practice and practice to make sure you get it so well that you can't get it wrong no more. But for that to happen, you have to make a ton of mistakes. You have to figure out how not to do it and why the answer would come out close but not quite, so that when the teacher says, hey, the working is right or the working is wrong or this is wrong somehow, you know where to go back and check. You know that you've put down every step that was in your mind, because at the time you may have been in a different frame of mind. When you go back and look at it and have to like change it or adjust it or correct it or whatever, you know exactly where in that process you made a mistake. Maybe it was a simple math problem that you didn't quite calculate accurately because your mind was elsewhere. Maybe you were thinking about, oh my God, how much time do I have left on this paper? So you're rushing through things. Maybe you wrote down a number wrong from the question. It could be anything, but the point being, if I'm trying to correct you, it's because I want you to get even better. And it's not saying that you're stupid. I'm saying, hey, watch out for this. You have a tendency to reverse numbers or not correctly copy it down. So be careful so that in the future you don't make any mistakes. With her, when I teach her spelling, is the same thing. The first time I tell her to go through her spelling words, I don't let her look at the words at all, because I'm working on what the existing rules are in spelling in her mind. What does she know full and completely that she can't screw up anymore? So when I go through the list of words, right, let's say on a Monday and her test is on Friday, the corrections that she has on Monday are fresh. She's never studied the words before. She hasn't even looked at them before taking the test with me at home, right? So the next day, I know where the mistakes are. She knows where the mistakes are, and we can work on correcting the mistakes. The other words that she's gotten right, I don't really touch that much anymore, because if she knows what she's doing, I don't want to screw that up. I don't want to add extra information to her head. So this is how I teach her how to do spelling. It's kind of the same way that I teach most anything. Do it the first time by yourself. Let me see what your logic is. And then I'll tell you what the rest of the world is expecting, because I want you to live your life on your rules, but I also want you to live in such a way where the rest of the world doesn't bother you when you're doing stuff that you've created, right? You can get along with the rules that they've established. So back to the square one, back to the point at hand. When I talk about telling people what you need as a means of respect, they're going to take it as they're being disrespectful, and that being disrespectful is a bad thing, and now you're attacking their character. This is why you have arguments, not discussions, because in an argument, you try to prove that you're right versus they're right. Both of them are thinking that they're right, which they are, but that in order for you to be right, you have to come to my way of thinking, or vice versa. When you ask for respect, or you're teaching someone how to respect you better, they're going to take it as a bad sign. But if there's a way that you can teach them and show them that you love them and you want them to continue this relationship, or you want the bond to get stronger, you can find a way to tell them where they is that they're not making the best decisions, or not respecting you or showing you love the way you prefer, right? Without them feeling that, hey, you know what, damn it, you're always attacking my character, you're always telling me some kind of thing. Because guess what happens in disagreements, y'all? They pull out all those skeletons out of your closet and throw them back in your face, right? When they feel hurt, what do? They want to hurt you, because how dare you hurt me? I'm going to hurt you. You think I can't hurt you? Oh, I'm missing to your level. But that's where relationships break down. You know how many years of love are thrown away in a moment of hate? And you know how long people hold grudges, even though y'all been family, or you've lived together, you've loved together forever? This is why I'm talking about this stuff. Because respect, love, how to be with me, what am I wanting out of a relationship? That's something you got to teach the other person. Because they come from a different household, they come from a different lifestyle, they come from a different culture, and even if it is household culture, okay? There are differences, and in order for you guys to get over those differences, you got to know about them. You got to understand where they come from. And then you have to have the conversation about, okay, well, what do we need in our relationship that becomes our culture? You get what I'm saying? So a lot of information in there, you guys. I unpacked a lot. But if you got any questions, please drop them in the comments, and I will catch you with you later. Love you. Bye.